Just had a magazine failure. Yep, the spring in this magazine. See that? It needs to come all the way up. There it went up. I'm gonna drop this down. See how it's slow to bring that next round up. That's why you tune mags. Let's try this other one. Ooh, same thing. Interesting. All right, Mark III, it's almost good enough. Here's the real point of this video, the bolt stop and the bolt stop release. So I've just finished off a magazine, change this out. That's like butter right there. That's good. Put the next one in. I can't slingshot. Bolt release is still holding me up. So the only way to chamber a new mag is to hit the bolt release switch, which I'm totally fine with, but why not have the option to slingshot it? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to rebuild this thing for a slingshot. Man, mag failure. We're going to tune the mags today too. Man, this thing's fun. All right, guys, continuing along with this Mark III 2245. Today I'm going to replace the bolt stop switch here. From the factory, right? When you fire the last round, the bolt stop holds the bolt open, but it does not allow you to slingshot it closed. In other words, you have to, physically pull it off and then move the switch down, or just move the switch down, right? Which can wear some stuff out. So I'm going to upgrade that today. I'll show you how we did that. It's already in there. I'll show you what you get with that. And then I updated and tuned my mags. Okay, let's start with that. So the stock mags aren't bad, but they come with this little base on the bottom of the magazine, which, like I showed in the last video, kind of mounts up flush to this thing. And engagement with the mag release is not always as crisp as you want it to be, sort of thing. So there's some things you could do to these mags. Tandem Cross actually has a video on this. I thought I was really onto something here with tuning mags, but there's already videos out there on it. But basically what I've done is I've deburred, right? You're just deburring things. Deburred the slide here, where your thumb slide goes, with the follower, rounding off the corners up here on these guys, and just doing some general kind of polishing. For instance, here's the mag stop, or the mag engagement part of the mag here, and I just kind of polish that up. I want that to ride. I want that mag release to ride nice and smooth over this guy and then engage. I don't want it to hang up on any burrs or anything. So you just deburn these things. But the most obvious thing that's kind of done here is I've replaced the base. I don't like the flush mount base, and these are, let me get these out of here. I don't like the flush mount base, so I replaced it. This is a Tandem Cross Tomahawk, is what they call this thing. So, and it's nice because for a guy like me with big hands, right? I can kind of feel that you know, it gives you a little bit more support there. It also, because it sticks out proud, allows you to make sure and bang this thing home and make sure that it's latched. And I mean, the last part is it just looks freaking cool. So why not? All right. So that's the mags. If you want to know more about tuning mags, you can check out Tandem Cross's video. They beat me to it. But I will say this. You take your gun to the range, you let your buddy shoot it, and if they throw the mags on the ground after you tuned them, it starts to tick you off a little bit, okay? Because it takes a lot of time. Tear this thing apart and polish everything, get your Dremel out and all that, just to have some knucklehead throw it on the ground. So, you know, just be careful if you're using somebody else's gun. They might have tuned mags. I wouldn't throw anything if anybody else is on the ground, all right? This happens to me all the time. But anyways, let's get into this bolt stop switch here. So to do this job, we'll tear this guy down. The chamber's totally empty, okay? So we'll just get into dry fire this guy, tear it down. A lot of guys think it's hard to field strip this gun, especially because it's hard to get the mainspring out. Here's a little tip. The end of your mag, this part of the mag, it's pretty useless, okay? It really doesn't do that much. You can basically undo the spring with it pretty easy, right? All right, so we got this thing field stripped. So removal of this guy, okay? This button it sits right here, okay? That's the one we're replacing, okay? And it's engaged with that pin, okay? And to do this job, basically what we're going to do is we're going to push this pin out and pull the trigger all the way out, all right? And I'll show you how you get into this pin. Again, this is these guns are all designed pretty well. You can just, maybe you can just barely see right there. There's a spring, the end of a spring right there, right? I'm covering it up, that little bright spot down in there. What you want to do is just push down on that, okay? And that will engage the pin, or let the pin, it'll free up the pin, I should say. The pin sits on this spring. Use the bigger punch. Slipping off it. Nope. So these things are designed really well. You don't need hammers. To see guys pounding these things out with hammers, you don't need to do that at all. Just know that the pin has a groove in it, and there's a piece of wire, spring, right, that fits in that groove that holds that thing in place. Once you push it off, the pins will come right out, okay? Now, I don't need to take this thing all the way out because this job's done. And again, there's videos out there that will show you exactly how to do this. But you got to pull the trigger all the way out. Make sure you don't, lose anything to get this guy, and then this guy will kind of like rotate out. So the difference between the switch that's in there and the one that came out. So there's a little ball detent on this guy, and that just basically gives you your two positions. But it doesn't do you any good in terms of allowing you to slingshot, the bolt here. What the new switch does, and again, this is a tandem cross part, is there's a little spring, right, and detent in there that basically allows you to actuate this thing, and then it will return, okay? So you're saying, well, now the bolt stop won't work. Well, it will. Let me show you how this thing works. The thumb slide, right, the thumb button on the mag has a stronger spring than this little spring. So when you fire your last round, right, your magazine will actually push this guy up, okay? And then of course, when you put in a mag, you put in your new mag, your bolts already stopped back, right? You put a new mag in with a round in it, right? This guy will not push up on it anymore. So now you can either slingshot it and let it go, or you can push this button down and not have to push through you know, that magazine spring as well. So this is a nice option. It lets you do everything that the old switch allowed you to do, but it adds capability of allowing you to just slingshot the bolt, right? Just pull back on the bolt and let it go. So that's a nice little upgrade. I really don't, it's not a huge upgrade, but it's just one more thing that makes this a little bit more user-friendly and useful. Because, you know, your bolt stop will wear out, right? You'll turn these corners down, and your engagement will become less and less. So I don't want to wear anything out, so I upgraded it. So that's our little upgrade on the Mark III 2245 today. We'll get out and shoot this guy a little bit and see how it works. All right, guys, here we are at the pistol range today. Testing out this Ruger Mark III, right, with the new upgrades. So it's clear. It won't be in a minute, but testing out the mag tune, right? So we tuned the mags, polished, honed, added the tomahawks on these things, which look freaking cool. And then also the bolt stop release to enable us to slingshot. Okay, so we're gonna test these out today. So let's start with this. Let's start with a slingshot. Okay, should just be like a Glock, like anything else. Just pull it back and it loads it. All right. All right, so slingshot worked, but because we installed that spring, right, let's make sure that the bolt stop still works, which it does, right? We can disengage that. All right, so far so good. Last thing we want to check is the tuned mags. Now, these things are already getting filthed up. I've already probably shot, I don't know, who keeps track? Who keeps track when you're shooting 22s? I mean, really. Definitely dumped some mags. But I've only used this one. This was the worst one. And the reason why I'm only using one is because I really want to filth it up bad. So let's do a couple mag dumps. Because that last set there was pretty dumpy. Dumpy? I don't know. It's a mag dump. Well, let's really get on it. All right. And I'm shooting good old Thunderbolts. It's probably one of the cheapest, also one of the best of the cheap, and one of the filthiest. It's got it all. Thunderbolts. All right, here we go. Yeah, that clip wasn't doing that last time. Yeah, the mag was definitely not functioning like that last time. Let's do that again, see if I can hit that every time. That target's maybe 8 yards, 5 or 6 inch steel, 8 yards. And what I'm trying to do is, actually the target barrel makes that a little bit easier, is resist the urge, you know, to tip my barrel down, you know, preparing for any type of recoil. And at the same time, hold it down, but don't push it down, but resist the muzzle jump, which 22 long rifle, not that big of a deal. But it's still a good trainer, especially with, you know, trying to brace for recoil. See a lot of guys, like I used to shoot a lot, you know, low and to the left a little bit, and it's with my 9, as I was dipping in preparation for recoil. It's really a flinch, really. So trying to death grip this thing and hold that muzzle still. All right, let's try this again. Pretty good. There you go. Don't throw your mags once you tune them, or don't drop them either. But that mag upgrade seems to be working pretty well. This gun is so much better. So much better. Basically, it's a sweet Mark II now. But so much fun. If you don't have a Ruger Mark Series pistol, go get one because you won't regret it. They're a ton of fun. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you.